All right, hello out there in Twitchland. Thank you for stopping by. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like what you see, come join me every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time, 1:30 Eastern Time. Going to be doing some prepping for Starfinder. Right now, we are going through Dead Suns. We are in Book 4, The Ruined Clouds, and if you've watched some of my earlier streams, I've explained some of the background and stuff, so I don't want to do that every single time. For those of you who are watching multiple streams, but basically, they're on a floating island of an ancient civilization that has left, and their goal is to get into a place called the Temple Found. In order to do that, they have to go to two locations. They've been to one, and now they've just decided to start exploring this ruined city. So the ruined city does not have a lot of, or pretty much any guidelines. I mean, it has a paragraph here or there for the different locations, but for the most part, it's just blank, and the characters are sort of on a timeline, so the module wasn't really written to be explored to have the party explore this ruined city. So what I'm doing is homebrew at this point, and so they're up here in this location now. They have found a medical center. So I added a pin by pulling it from the story entry over to the map. The tiny little P is the party indicator, and so I have been working on the map. So here's the overall map. So if you right click on any image, including maps, go over to the 3 o'clock, says resize, straight down is adjust horizontal. Let you see the entire map at once. Here is my story entry for this medical center. So they have C and D. I did 1 through 9, and then I put tokens on them that I've hidden from view. And to do that, you go to the token itself. Once it's a little hand, you right click on the token. Up here it says visibility, and then you can make it always invisible. So now they can't see that token. It's only there so I can know what's going on. So I'm starting off, I said I've gone through D. I did A over here and B and all that stuff, but now they still have 9, 8, 9, A that I've done. So the rest of them I haven't. It's been pretty action packed. So I'm going to have pretty much one other encounter. This is probably going to be a trap, a radiation in room E. I did have, like I said, an idea for a couple robots, and they still have another encounter over here. So these two rooms have creatures. So far, and when they came in, there was a fight. There's been a fight here and a fight here. And as I said, there's going to be a fight here. So I'm going to have one other fight. I haven't decided exactly where yet. It might be in one of these two or both. They might be reactive to each other. But, and then, like I said, a radiation trap there. And that's probably going to be enough. I don't really want to do that much more in here. This is just sort of like a side quest. So, alright, so let's see. This here, I'm just going to have this be a radiation room. So, when you look up the rules for radiation, there are different levels, low, high, and medium. Um, and so what I'm going to do, let's see, this is radiation is in at the end of game mastering, right here, page 403 in the rule book. So what happens is with radiation, when they enter into an area of radiation, they have to, each turn, they have to make a fortitude save, and the level of the radiation tells you the difficulty of the fortitude save. So I'm going to say it's low radiation as soon as they open the door, and then medium in the first two squares, and high in the last two, in the final two. I'm not going to go with severe radiation levels. And with it's every once a day. If they succumb to the radiation and fail to save, then they are. It takes 3 consecutive saves to come back. So for 3 days, they're going to be sick. So radiation is not something to mess around with. It can be cured by some spells, but it's a physical thing, yeah. So sickened and fatigued. So the first one is latent. So if they just step in and they fail to save, they'll have latent radiation for 3 days, and nothing else will happen. But then if they do it twice, they get sickened and fatigued, and that will last, like I said, until they save 3 times. Alright, so I'm actually going to put this here and put the indication, put the link. Alright, so how I'm going to then indicate that on the map is I'm just simply going to, in my room, radiation is emanating from the northeast corner. Standing at the doorway is light radiation. Fortitude DC. Put it away, so let me open it back up real quick. 13, 17, and 22 are the 3 that I need. The 2 westernmost squares are medium, Fort DC, 17, and the easternmost squares, and the two easternmost squares are heavy for DC 22. Core Rulebook, page 204. Now the other thing you can do is if you look here under the core Starfinder core rulebook, you can go to reference manual. This isn't something I didn't learn for a long time, but this is like having a book here. So that was under game mastering, and it's under environment. So then I can go down to was that atmospheres? I think it was environment. It might have been afflictions. Let's see, is it under afflictions? Curses, diseases, poisons, and then sample afflictions. Alright, so that's ahead of it. Let's see, traps. Alright. I just don't remember where radiation was in the book. Taking a look real quick. Nice. So there's a wind effect table here. Shows you the effects of wind on attack rolls. The damage for something falls on you. Here it is. Alright, so it's right here. So this is under environmental rules. So if I wanted to, I could then put a link to it right here. So there's that one, and then the other one I wanted was this is actually considered a disease. It's a physical tract disease. So here's this. Drop that in there, and then I can make a note. Radiation sickness is a physical tract disease, or is tract on the physical disease, tract, whatever. So now within my document here, I can just click on these, boom, and it pops up, and and I can just go right down to where it says talks about radiation, and I have it available. Makes it easy. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little description. Melted containers have spilled a long dried substance onto most of the floor. whatever device that used to be along the eastern wall has long since rusted. And is unidentifiable. Search for the word there for a second, sorry. And it's unidentifiable. So a couch with hundreds of holes in the fabric. Rests along the south wall, looking as if it was made from Swiss cheese. A rusted metal bed fills up the rest of the southern wall. Fills up the rest of the far southern wall. Alright, because if you look in here, so if you use this toggle toolbar here for any image, you can then have access to these controls. The players have access to these toggle controls for targeting. You can click on the mask symbol, which opens up the mask. You're now in mask mode. So if you look at the room real quick, I'll expose it. You can see there's some sort of something here and something here. So I'm saying that's a couch, and I'm saying that's a bed. This one I have not. So right click, visible, invisible. See, so it makes it grayed out. So now I can still see it, but the players can't. And then I'm going to put this back, holding shift. Nope, my bad. Holding control. Boom. Alright, so now the E is done. And then what I do with this here is, since this is a description, and I'm going to put control 3 so it can be shared. Boom. So what happens when they immediately open the doors is scent. So strong, acrid scent assails your nostrils. Even through your armors. Environmental, it's not controls, it's environmental protection. Alright, so I try to include scent and all the senses when I can in the description. and this way I don't forget. Alright, and then F and G are bathrooms. So again, let me show you F and G. So there is another single bathroom to the north that they found. So I'm going to bring this down here. And just for fun, so I'm going to say, let's see, F is odd, G is even. I'm going to make one of them a little bit grosser. Guess it would help if I move my thing. There it is. 6. Alright, so F is odd, G is even, so G. So this is going to be F. Door is unlocked. It is a bathroom. So this time we're going to put a little bit more description. We're going to say, that's cool, the trash can is knocked over on this one, and this one is still up. Nice little touch there. Cartographer, good job. Alright, so we're going to say a large dark stain covers the floor near the toilet. And that's it. We're just going to leave it that way, and they can go from there. I don't think I have any brown, any weird dark stain tokens. I mean, I have brown mold. I could sort of throw that in there, but I don't think it's worth the time and trouble just for a weird little effect to try and go over the details there. So we'll leave it. Actually, I do have some blood, but the blood tokens look like blood, so I don't know. Well, let's give it a shot and see what it looks like real quick. Zoom in. See how interesting it makes it look. Come on. And I want to go in between. Yeah, it's not worth it. So I'm going to delete. Alright, so enough messing around. Okay, so E, F, and G are now finished. Now we're looking at H. So I want to get a better look again at the map. So for H, H, I, and J are going to be empty. So I'm just going to wing it. I don't need to add anything else to what's there. If you look at these rooms, you can see that there's some things I can just play off of, some sort of, you know, looks like old desk, might be a laptop, metal desk, looks like a little drawer there and a drawer on the floor. box and some mold and stuff on the floor. The mold plays a lot in one section of this adventure path. So there's going to be a time later on where they're going to this one area that has a lot of mold, and the mold actually attacks them and stuff. So I'm introducing mold 2 or 3 different locations throughout this one as well, just to get them used to seeing mold, so they won't think that much of it, or it won't be as big of a surprise when they start seeing mold. All right, back to control to cover this back up. And then I and J. So this is like some sort of executive suite, and I don't even have to have tokens here if nothing is going to be there, but it depends on whatever works for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover that back up. And there we go. Alright, so K and L, I think I'm going to link them. We've done it 2 other locations where if they attack in one room, the adjacent room also has a creature that's going to then come out and attack. So yeah, and this long last room is actually the entrance. They came in from the rear. This is just a waiting room. So if you were to zoom in and look at it, you can see it's just a bunch of chairs and waiting room for this ancient medical facility. And by medical facility, it's actually more of a research facility. And I'm just going to change this up here to research now that they know what it is. So now it's unidentified, so on their map they'll see research facility when it pulls up for them. Alright, so L and K. So we're going to go ahead and expose these real quick. And then we'll throw in our critters. So these are supposed to have been abandoned for 1,000+ years. So the only thing that's been working in here are some undead robots and a couple things that were in like a cryo that had gone insane. Alright, so I had looked at these before. Let's take a look and see what CR they are. CR they are. Alright, so CR9, CR4. Okay, so my characters are level 8. I have 4 of them. And again, if we go to the core rulebook reference manual, designing encounters. So first thing is to determine the average party level, which in my case is 8. Because if you look at my group, oh, I'm sorry, it's 9. 4 people, level 9. If the group has fewer than 4 characters, subtract if it's 6 or more. So 4 is fine. It's at state. The CR, so table 11.1 is not here. So let's see, is it under tables? It is not, because it's not a rollable table, so that's why it's not listed here. Alright, so where do they have the table there, dude? Gaining experience. Here it is, level 1. Alright, so if I want it to be, I want these to be average to challenging. So average party level to average party level plus 1. So 9 or 10 is the answer to that. Determine a total XP award for the encounter by looking up a CR in table 11.3. So my party is level 9. $1,600. So 1,600 times 4 is 3264. So 6,400 would be the XP for a normal fight, and if I want to go up 1, it would be 9,000. 8,000 for a fight. So looking at between 6 and 8,000. So this one has 64. So by itself, he is in theory a good fight for the group. The robot assassin. If I wanted to include these security robots, it would make it that much harder for 1,200 more. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to throw in the robot assassin here, put it in one side. Oops. So I'm going to throw the robot assassin on one side, and I'll put 2 security class robots in the other side, and have them interact with each other after like 3, maybe 4 rounds. I'll say 3, because 3 rounds is actually quite a long time. So let's build the encounter. So what I do is I go here to the encounter. Now what I've been doing is I'm in Dead Sons Part 4, and these are just the encounters for Part 4. So the random encounters were under 3.11. So if you look at the storyline, it's 3.11. So I put the ones I made 3.11, and then I did it with the moniker of the room. So 3.11 A, 3.115 is for room 5, 9 is and A is for room 9 and room A, and C and D. So I'm making a new one. So in this case, it's going to be 3.11 point, and then I'm going to just put them both in the same. K and L, K and L. I'm going to drag the link over so I have access to the encounter as soon as they go into the room. So this could backfire if they open both doors at once. So then you then drag the creature into the encounter. So, looking at the room, let's put these two security class robots. Alright, so I'm just going to do this randomly actually. So there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 10. So it's 20. Wow. Okay, 20 empty squares. Starting from here down, I'll just roll 2 20-siders. I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to right click on it, minimize it, because I do want to take a look at them and to familiarize myself a little with their powers and what they can do. So right click, once you pick up a die by left clicking it, if you right click on the mouse, it adds another die. So number 19 and number 12. So since 20 is here, this is 19. And number 2 will go into 12. So 10, 11, 12. Boom. And then a robot assassin has 3, 10. He has 22 to choose from. This time we're going to start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. And to do a weird number, I have the code right here. And so in this case, I want 1D22. So you put slash DIE and then 1D, whatever number you need. It can be any number, literally. And then plus, if there's a plus. So, for example, some magic items might be worth between 101 and 500. So you put 1D 400 plus 100. So it could be anywhere from 101 to 500. Alright, so he's going to be number 8, starting from the bottom. So he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right there in that big old blood spot. Okay, then we close it, and it will disappear. I'll make these invisible. Alright, so the robot assassin's going to be the bigger one. Let's look at this guy at first. He's going to be easier. Open him up a little bit so I can see. Sorry about that. Dog there. Alright, so these guys are vulnerable to critical hits and electricity. They have a slam and a ranged attack. They also have jolting arc, which is they can shoot an arc with electricity up to 4 creatures within 40 feet. So these guys are pretty wussy. Hit points are decent, but they're not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. They do 1d6 and 1d4, so these are sort of like more annoying than anything else. I might even throw an extra one in there just because they don't do a whole heck of a lot. So let's see what this CR9 guy can do. So I've found with Starfinder, I don't know if Pathfinder is the same, but with Starfinder, they are not. It's not a linear progression. So if you have a CR like we had CR4, 2 CR4s are not the same as a CR8. A CR8 is much more powerful than 2 CR4s. So as the CR increases, and same thing with heroes, the hero levels. If you have 2 level 2s, they are not the same as a level 4 character. The level 4 character is usually more powerful than the 2 level 2s. So let's see what this guy can do. He's got immunity. Excuse me. Yeah, he's also vulnerable to critical hits and electricity. He has a long sword, which does 2d10 plus 13. He has a semi-auto pistol, 2d6, and an eye rifle, which does 2d10. Excuse me. Holographic trick. Okay, so that's like the rogue. Moves up to its speed, is blurred by a holographic camouflage, and then he makes an attack one-handed weapon or small arm. It's a trick attack like the operative. I said rogue, but I meant operative. All right, getting a little parched. So basically, anytime he can take his full action, which allows him, and in this particular case, for this trick, it's just like an operative trick attack. If you're not familiar with those, he moves. He uses this hologram around him to mess with their mind and not conceal what he's actually doing, and then he makes a stealth check. They make a perception check. If he succeeds, then he does an extra 5d8 damage with his trick attack. And he can do that every turn, as long as he takes a full thing. He has nanite repair as well, which once a day he gets back 68 hit points. Hey, Dad. Whoa. Sorry, guys. I'll figure this out. There we go. Alright, so he repairs himself for 68 once a day. He has 135 hit points. And his 22 and 23 for ACs and KC. So yeah. So they will be able to bring him down. I don't know where the construct immunities are. I've got to remember where those are. Let's see, is it another? It is good. Okay, maybe not. Alright, so quickest way is to ask the Google Starfinder. Picture. Very cool. Starfinder construct. Immunities. Alright, so bleed, death, disease, mind affecting effects, necromancy effects, paralysis, poison, and stunning. So I'm going to copy this. I could make a copy of the robot and then add it to the copy, but in this case I'm just going to add it to here. So we're working on K and L. I'm just going to go down. There we go. Construct communities. Alright, so that's there. So it'll remind me exactly what they are. Okay, so the camouflage does what? An assassin robot uses its sensors to blend in with its surrounding. If it remains still for a round, it gains a +10 stealth. Alright, so he can amplify it and make himself invisible for up to 10 rounds. Okay, so if they come across him first, it will be better for them. The security and assassin robots will join in the combat with the other robots. Starting in the 4th round. The assassin robot will use its holographic camouflage ability to turn invisible. So we're going to throw this up here, wink. So that's way it's accessible easily. You can just click and check it. Then we're going to throw the encounter into the uh-oh, I moved the pin. So we'll throw the encounter into the story. Boom. I always like to label my stuff so I know what it is I'm looking at. It's encounter. Alright, I'll go ahead and throw in the pictures just because it makes it a little simpler. I don't have to find it. There we go. And then the robot Assassin. We'll also put in his picture. Alright, and so if we do that, if we go to this page, line, and hit enter, it then presumes the next thing you're going to send is a link. And so if we put control 1, that means it's just a regular text. And then when you drag the link, it'll then put in all the words. So alright, so I've got my images, I've got my encounter. I'm just going to wing it with the rooms. Lock that off, it's done. Make sure, yeah, it's on, okay. Alright, so now we're done with the medical center. Control. Put this back, cover it back up. Alright, so they're all set. There we go. So this is back where they were. They're in here. Okay, so good. So we're done with this. So there's 2 fights left, and a handful of other rooms. They might finish it this week. So then what I'm going to do then is I'm going to throw a couple robots into this one that aren't working. So I have some, here we go, Sci-Fi Species Volume 4. Here we go. So we'll just throw do I want to put a token or do I want, yeah, I'm going to put the token in there. Let's see, so we'll zoom in on the map. No, as cool as this would look, having a robot in there that looks like that. So I'm right clicking on it and then going to delete token. It doesn't match everything else that's been going on. Every time they fought somebody, it's been a token like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of these tokens in here. So there's about 20 of these. I'm just going to roll randomly to pick 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Green guy. So the green guy will go over here behind the desk. So in this case, it's visible or invisible. So we're just going to leave it. It's mask sensitive right now. So when they come in the room, they'll see it. So I'm looking to see if there's any other beds or anything else I can throw. Nope, I don't see any other beds. sorry about that. I am back. Okay, so we're all set then. We've got a robot decoy over here. We have 2 encounters that we've set up. We've got radiation in this room. This is actually 2 encounters that are combined into one. And the rest of it I'm going to wing. This has a little bit more detail in this room with the radiation just because it is unique. Add a little bit of flair to the bathroom. And H is going to be empty. Is there a bed in here? Let's see. It doesn't look like an office. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Do I have any? I wonder if I have any like rodent tokens or anything. I have dead body tokens. There's a lizard. There you go. That's perfect. So I'm gonna throw a dead lizard in here. All right. So we've got 2 dead lizards. I mean, a dead lizard in there. All right. So. All right. So we are at an hour. So next week will be, I have another facility. I don't know if they're, when they leave here, if they're going to go straight to where they're supposed to go, or if they're going to keep wandering around. I do have a couple things set up and ready to go for when they decide to, I mean, if they don't decide to go where they're supposed to. I have a couple outside encounters. The book gives us 2, and I have access to those. I also made another one that was outside. Depending on how far they get, I may just, I'm also in the process of working through their characters and making sure that all their actions have been included. So one thing that one of them asked me to do real quick, I'm hoping it's going to be real quick. So on his actions page, I have their different actions. These can all be closed. So Serena is a mystic a Solarian operative. And so she can explode after 3 rounds with her Solarian bonus. She gets an operative trick attack, which does extra damage if she makes the roll, which we talked about earlier. So these are all coded in here. So the trick attack, for example, this rolls her. She uses her, instead of her stealth, she uses her acrobatics as a daredevil operative. So she rolls. In this case, she would have made it. She then picks her target and can make them either off kilter or flat footed. So she adds that to the target. If she then hits with her attack, she then gets to herself, she gets an extra 3d8. So you click on that one. So this is all in one place for her, ready to go and ready to be used. She wanted to put the trick attack ones above passive. So let's take a look and see. I'm going to add another section for now. There we go. So I want to see if I can just drag it. Yes. Alright, so I was right. So I'm able just to drag that, go to the pencil, and go goodbye. Delete the ability class. Okay, so that's not what you want to do. Unfortunately, there's not an undo in here. So that really hurt. That's going to mean... Alright, so... Wow. Okay. That was a huge mistake. Okay, so... So you change the class to operative. She has 5 levels of operative, 4 levels of Solarian. She has 7. Current resolve points are not 0, but we'll worry about that later. 3 sections. He wanted the trick attack on the top. This was the passive section. I don't remember what the third one was. So I'll look and see what that is when I get there. Alright, so under class abilities, she has debilitating trick, which is part of her trick attack. Evasion is part of her passive. Field treatment is part of her operative. Uncanny mobility is an operative exploit. One part of her operative stuff. That's not the one I want though. The one I want is actual, the one that says uncanny ability STU right here. Okay. So the way I have this set up, if you haven't seen some of my earlier videos, is she gains an operative exploit every so often. So as you gain experience, you're on your first one at 2nd level, and then every 2 levels thereafter. So it shows up several times on here, operative exploit, operative exploit. So I put in, to clarify, I just type in what it was that she chose. But that doesn't tell you what field treatment does. So you would then have to pick and see, well, which one did she pick? So what I do then is I put what it is, and then she can then I then add field treatment here. And the way you do that is, so like with uncanny ability at level 4, she picked uncanny mobility. You just drag the piezo symbol into the class abilities, and it'll just add it by itself. So it may look like it's twice, but there's like same thing with the feats. So the feat, it just tells you you earn a feat, but doesn't. And so here I put in which one she got. Which one did she get? So that way, it's clear what's going on. Alright, so we were at uncanny mobility. Operative's edge doesn't need to be coded. Quick movement doesn't need to be coded. Specialization Daredevil doesn't need to be coded. Trick attack, I don't have out yet. Versatile movement. is an operative exploit. Yep. What? Oh, as a daredevil, she gains this. Okay. Because I was like, what? That's level 10. Because she's a daredevil, that's why she has a level 5. Okay. So that's all I have to do. And now I'm only a little bit crying inside. Trick attack. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to have the definition of what it is here as well. So first of all, we open this up. Say what it is. This is trick attack. So we're just copying from here. Trick attack they get at level 1 actually. Alright, so now as a full action, she attempts A. In her case, Control C. So in her case, because she is a daredevil, she makes an acrobatics check. With a DC, and you deal an additional, and the target is flat-footed. So I'm copying this over. 3d8 at 5th level, and then an additional 1d8 every 2 levels. So it's 3d, she is 5th level, so we're just going to do 3d8. So she also has debilitating trick, which means I should have that there you go. Boom. So now I need to code this into this. Short trick attack is acrobatics check equals extra damage. Doesn't really describe it very well, but it's close enough. Alright, so now we're going to right click here. We're going to add an ability action. In this case, it is considered an attack, or a cast rather. You open this up, and this is a skill. So it's not melee or ranged versus EAC or KAC. It's not a combat maneuver. It's an ability. So she's using her acrobatics. She does not get a flat bonus. the defense is base 20 plus CR. There is no save. So when she clicks this, she rolls that. Versus 20 plus CR. Right now, is there anything in the combat tracker? There is no enemy in the combat tracker. So let's just, for example, have her target the spider. And now let's see if it actually gives you the DC. It does not. Does she? She might not have a CR, so let's clear this. I'm just checking. Sorry for the quick delay here. I'm just looking to see if it will give you the difficulty check value automatically. So if she goes to attack him, it does not. Okay. Because his CR is 3, so it will be 23. And does not tell you, but it doesn't tell you whether she succeeded or not. It just says 20 plus CR. Okay, I was just curious. Alright, so that's the first part of it. Now, when she hits, because of her debilitating, when you hit an enemy with a trick attack, you can make the creature flat-footed or off target until the beginning of your next turn. So, right-click, add ability, add an effect. It's a little man, means that it's an effect. In this case, it is target. Click on here, type in here. It is flat-footed or off target. So looking at the actual effects, flat-footed. So I'm going to, the duration would be 1 round. I'm going to make it 2 just because I change the initiative order every time. And there are times when, so say that by changing the initiative order, it will sometimes delete it before it's supposed to expire. So target is not self, it is target, and it doesn't go away till the end of the round. So there's the first one. Second one, we're doing the same thing, but this one is off kilter, or it's off target. Off target, so off target. And then right click one more time, add an ability action. This is to self, so if you click here, it's self. And then in this case, it is the damage that she's doing. So she's going click, add an ability action, damage. She is doing 3d8. So you take the d8, pick it up with a left click while still holding left click, right click twice, drop it into the box. She doesn't have any kind of bonus beyond that. target is self. It expends on the next action. Interesting. So why is this one here? This shouldn't be here then. Okay. Sneak attack. Damage. So I don't... they've been making changes to Fantasy Grounds, updating, especially Starfinder, which is awesome. So let's bring up the comment tracker. This just looks a little different than what I'm used to seeing. So we bring in the NPC again. She's targeting him. So when she goes to hit it, as a hit. So now she clicks this, applies to herself. Alright. Yeah, so this is... I don't know why I did it that way. That's weird. I've never... Alright, so forget this one. This is wrong. Delete spell action. We're adding damage. And it should just be a simple 1, 2, 3. Oh, sure, I'm a dumbass. I'm getting all flustered because I look like a dork on line. 3d8. In this case, I do want to make sure it's saying it's magic, because it is. Urge is S. S colon magic. Actually, no, it's not always S. It might be something else. But anyway, so it is magic because her weapons. Oh, you know what? It wouldn't be. So never mind. If she's using her solo weapon, it is. But if she's using her any other weapon, it's not magic. So it's not spell damage. No. Oh, holy crap. I am so tired. Okay. This is one way to do it. Since it's targeted, she could then click the damage. What I really meant... sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop. Well, no, I'll finish it. So what I really wanted to do is add the damage here. And the damage as a condition.
So it is sneak attack. It's not sneak, it's trick attack. Trick attack. Semicolon, and then it's DMG 3D8. That is to self, expires on the next action. Next roll. So this should be correct. So yeah, that's yeah. All right, so all right, so she hits him. She then goes click. This applies to herself. And then when she rolls the damage, alright, so I coded it wrong. Is it colon? Okay, that's correct. And it went away. Okay. Alright, so if I haven't completely lost you at this point, then, and I'm really sorry. So, we're fighting this Aeon Guard who is a level 3. So she does her trick attack. She can click use or attack. Either one does the same thing. It rolls her acrobatics check, which is what she uses. In both cases, she succeeded. So she would then click flat-footed, which adds flat-footed to the guard. Or she could do off target, add it to the guard. She then goes to attack it with her weapon. And you will notice defensive effects -2. Why? Because it's flat-footed. She hits. So then you then click trick attack damage. Self roll. She then rolls damage. It adds the 3d8 and goes away. Next round. Oh, I don't have anything selected. Invalid parameter. That's weird. Okay. Now it's round 2. The effects are still there. Round 3 is now duration 1. Now the effects go away. Menu, delete, foes, menu, initiative, clear all initiatives. Alright, so wowzers, that was a long way to get there. Another half an hour. So sorry for all the mistakes. But now you should know what to do it. By the way, her her ability stat is Dex for her operative. Alright, so now I'm not sure what the second one was, so we'll worry about that later. Alright, so that's gonna be enough for today. If you are watching this, then that means I decided to leave it up despite all the errors I made. I hope you learned something. I am going to be, the next video will be fixing the rest of her stuff, adding the rest of her things on to her. And thank you so much. Click subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and check me out Wednesdays. Talk to me live. I'm happy to be distracted with the chats and answer questions you might have or things that you may want to do. The coding, as you can see, and that I just messed up so badly, it works though. When you know what you're doing, it works well. And so I'll be glad to go over some of those codings for you. You can see in my combat tracker, I have a lot of different codings for my players. Some of them are automatic, some of them are just reminders about what happens. So let me know if you have questions, and we will go from there. That one does remind me that I need to add these to their characters. Anyway, okay, so thank you so much. Have a good day, and I will talk to you later.